McNeese is 27-6 and has won the Southland Conference Tournament for the second consecutive year. And the head coach of the Cowboys is Will Wade, and he now joins us. And Will, welcome. Is today more relief or joy for you?
A little bit of both. Obviously, very happy to go back to the NCAA tournament, but there's a lot of pressure in these one-bid leagues. I mean, we were dominant for 2.5 months, but it came down to 40 minutes against a really, really good team in Lamar, and so it's you're so excited. You're excited for the guys, but you're also just relieved because you feel like, it could have ended like that. It'd have been a fast ending to a tremendous season, and so. I'm a little bit of both, but really looking forward to Selection Sunday and seeing where we head and seeing if we can play a little bit better than we did last year.
Now, since you've taken over McNeese's program, your record is 57-10. How have you went 57-10 in 2 years at McNeese?
Pretty simple. We got good players. Look, we have really good players. I say all the time, it's the horse, it ain't the jockey. And so, you're not winning the Kentucky Derby on a mule. So you better have the right horses to win the race, and we've had that. It started. Last year we got a kid, Shahade Wells, who was the Player of the Year, the Newcomer of the Year. We had C.J. Felder and Tavion Cullum. We just had a lot of good players. And because I just was texting with Hade, and he was so excited. And I told him, "You're the one who started the whole thing. You came here when this was just a concept." And I think that led to us being able to get in the portal and get some other good guys this year, but I'm most proud of our consistency. I'm not a big slogans guy. We don't hang up a bunch of signs or any of that stuff because I think that's just a waste of time. But I do tell our guys, you never bet against consistent behavior. I think the best people in your life are the most consistent people in your life, no matter what your vocation is. And so, I'm most proud of our consistency. We've gone 40-2 in the league, and hey. Yeah. You can have the best players in the world. You can have, it's still hard to win. And it's really hard to win in the league on the road. And in the position we became in McNeese, we were the biggest game, for most people on the road. They had their biggest crowd. They were handing out T-shirts, whatever else. And, just the consistency of our guys is probably what I'm most pleased with.
Now, as you look forward, you're always evolving as a coach, but I'm curious, what's the biggest difference in Will Wade today as a coach versus the final game that you coached at LSU in terms of a basketball perspective?
I think you always learn stuff. I'm much more in tune with our defense than I was at LSU. Last year at LSU, I became more in tune with the defense, but I'm much more in tune defensively than I was earlier in my tenure. And last night the defense carried us in the game against Lamar. I've always had good assistants to do the defense. Coach Forrest, Coach Chambers, and Coach Hamilton help do the defense here at McNeese. But I'm much more in tune with what's going on with what Coach Chambers wants and what Coach Hamilton wants and what Coach Forrest wants. I'm much more in tune, with all of that. Than I was probably early in my career. I still do a lot of the offensive stuff, a lot of the special situation stuff. I enjoy that. As a head coach, you got to do things that give you energy, and so that gives me energy. I enjoy that. But while I was enjoying that before, I was pretty much turning a blind eye to some other stuff defensively, and now I'm much more in tune with everything. And like I said, Coach Chambers coordinates it and does a phenomenal job, and Coach Hamilton and Coach Forrest do a really good job. Really good job with the defense as well.
Will, how often do you think about, again, being a power conference head coach?
I think about it. I'd be lying if I said I didn't. But I think it's important to stay in the moment. I always say the bigger the game, the narrower the focus. And so the more stuff that's going on, you got to focus in on what the main thing is. The main thing right now is, trying to continue to make history at McNeese. We've made a ton of history the last 2 years and seeing if we can win a game in the NCAA tournament, see if we could get a good draw and pull out a win and see where that takes us. But I'd be remiss if I didn't think about it. Certainly I think about it, but it's really important to make sure you go to the right spot. I've moved around a lot. My daughter's in second grade. I have more things to take into account now. I've got my staff with families. In the past, I've had young staffs. I've been young. I was married. I didn't have a kid. You know how that is with a kid now. Yeah. And I mean, I don't want to keep moving my daughter around. So I want the next move, whether it's this year, whether it's next year, whether it's 5 years from now, I want it to be the right move and somewhere that we can stay for a while and somewhere that we can compete at the highest echelon of the sport.
Will, over the last 10 or 15 years, we have seen different coaches battle some off the court issues and then get rehired, and the programs they took over took off. Bruce Pearl at Auburn, Kelvin Sampson at Houston, Rick Pitino at St. John's, Chris Beard at Ole Miss. When you look at what those guys have done, do you look at it and say, you know what, if I get another opportunity, I could do the same thing?
Yeah, certainly. I mean, I'm not as good a coach as those other four, but it shows that there's a path back. I think everybody likes a redemption story. I think everybody likes somebody that can get up off the mat and find their way back. And those are certainly four really, really good examples. And if I could do half as well as those guys do when I get back, then I think that would be good. But it certainly shows there's a path forward. There's a way. There's a way forward, and I'm very, very fortunate. But I want to be clear. I mean, I'm not in some rush to leave McNeese, and McNeese saved my career. They're one of the few schools that would have hired me when it looks brilliant now, but at the time, I mean, my athletic director, my president, they took a ton of flack. Yeah, and it was no sure bet that this was going to go like this, and they took a ton of flack, and so. They whatever happens, I love this place. I love the people. I love the area. And they've done more for me than I could ever do for them. And hopefully us having some success is paid back a little bit, but I still owe quite a bit.
Now, wherever you coach, one major requisite to having a great program is having great managers. And one of your managers at McNeese, Amir Khan, has become an internet sensation. So right now, take us behind the curtain. Who is Amir Khan?
He's incredible. His dad is a doctor in town. So his dad was actually on the court after the game when we were celebrating last night. I said, how's it feel to have a famous son, more famous than anybody in the town? And he was laughing, but he's a phenomenal kid, phenomenal young man. He's getting his degree in sports management at McNeese. He wants to go into athletics, and certainly we're going to help him start his career. But you got to understand, I was a manager at college. I was a manager at Clemson, but at Clemson, I mean, I was getting a partial scholarship to be a manager.
Right.
These kids get nothing. I mean, they get absolutely nothing. They're in there working. I mean, last year, Amir and two of his friends, Landry and TJ, were managers last year. TJ since graduated. We picked up Mitch and Jordan, and Forbes has been there both years. But, last year I gave them courtside tickets to a Pelicans game to thank them. I mean, that was the best I could, that's the best we could do for them. Just, hey, thanks for all your hard work. Thanks for everything you've done. Here's some tickets to the Pels. So, I mean, we appreciate everything those guys do. Our players love Amir. He's always funny. He's quick-witted. He's always got something to come back, and he knows everything about everything in sports. And so he's got an eclectic group of teams that he follows. He's a huge, obviously, McNeese fan. He loves. He may be the only person in Louisiana that's a DePaul Blue Demons basketball fan. His dad had like WGN when they grew up, and like DePaul was on TV. So his dad's like made him this DePaul fan. And so he's, he talks to us about DePaul basketball nonstop. He may know as much about DePaul as you do, but he's a phenomenal kid. And it's been great just to see him get the recognition, and the way he shared it with the managers and the team, and how excited our team is for him is really, really cool.
Well, let's look ahead right now to Selection Sunday. What's the biggest difference in this McNeese team versus the one that played Gonzaga in the round of 64 a year ago?
Hopefully we won't play Gonzaga. I mean, look, it's all about matchups. A 12 seed, statistically speaking, has a 1 in 3 chance to win. Last year was just a terrible matchup. We need a team. We're not huge. We've got really athletic front court players, but we're not big. And our defense forces a lot of turnovers. So Gonzaga was like the perfect storm for us. They were huge, and they played 2 point guards together that didn't turn the ball over. Right. I mean, you're gonna torch us every time. And so, I mean, even last night we gave up 20 offensive rebounds and still won.
Yeah.
It's hard to do, but we need a team. It's more about the matchup for us. We need a team that has one or two of those characteristics. One or two, meaning they're not very big or they turn the ball over a lot, or in a utopic world, we'd have a team that's not very big and turns the ball over a lot. Now, the reality is there's not many of those that are going to be a 4 or 5 seed in the NCAA tournament. They wouldn't be a 4 or 5 seed if they had those characteristics. So we're really looking for one of those that we can take advantage of. And if we get that, hey, we'll see what happens.
Well, Will, congratulations on all your success. It's been a lot of fun to cover. Safe travels wherever you go and wherever you're seated on Sunday. And as always, look forward to staying connected along the way.
Thank you so much. Thanks for having me on.
You got it. McNeese head coach Will Wade. Remember, this is March.